Okay, hi. What you're going to need to follow along with this video is a Jamberry mini heater. You can use your hairdryer if you want, but for $27, these are totally worth their weight in gold. So you're going to need a mini heater. You're going to need a purple pusher or an orange stick. I'm going to be using my cuticle remover pen because I have invisible cuticles, so I will be using this. So if you have difficulty with your Jamberry staying on and you're trying to work out what's going wrong, you could have invisible cuticles and that could be your problem. So this is a fantastic product. You're also going to need a pair of scissors, a buffer block, a nail file, and of course the sheet of jams that you're going to be using. You're also going to need a alcohol wipe or some rubbing alcohol and a little makeup pad.
Alrighty, so prep. First of all, prep is really important. So before I've started this step that you're seeing now, I've washed my hands in dish soap, and then I go ahead and apply my cuticle remover pen, and then I go around and remove all of my cuticles. Okay, you can of course skip the cuticle remover pen and just remove them, and you can do that with an orange stick or a purple pusher like I'm doing here, or anything really. There are many tools you can use to achieve the same result, but it's important that you get the cuticles off. If you don't, then your jams aren't going to stick and they're going to start lifting, and you're going to wonder why, thinking that you did all the prep steps right. Then we're going to quickly buff. Don't spend too long buffing. Your nails will become bendy and flexible if you over buff. Then we're going to clean with alcohol wipe, and we are good to go.
Okay, so now that we've done our prep, we're going to start our application. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on my mini heater, which is just sitting off to the side here. And I have my jams right here. Now because I know my sizes, I'm actually going to cut mine off. Okay, this is one hand and this is the other hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our little purple pusher. Now we're going to be doing the cold application method and what's called the 1, 2, 3 method. I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. And we take our jam, lift it off the sheet with our little purple pusher. And we're going to place it on the nail cold before we've even heated it. Now the reason why we're doing it this way is because it's not heated. I can move this. It's not set in stone, okay? So the reason why I'm picking it up is because I know that this part of the jam is not actually going to be set permanently on my fingernail. So I'm not worried about the oils interfering with the adhesive because we're not using that, okay? Don't ever touch part of the jam that you're relying on staying on your finger, because you don't want the oils from your fingers to disturb or disrupt the adhesive. So now that I've got it sitting on there and I'm happy with the placement, the first step, number 1, is to heat just the front of the wrap. So we're just going to heat this section. So I'm just going to go ahead and heat it, and we're just going to, from cuticle to tip, apply some pressure, and I'm only working the center of the wrap, okay, from cuticle to tip. So remember, heat and pressure is what activates the wrap. So lots of heat and lots of pressure. Well, not a lot of heat. You don't want to overheat your wrap. Okay, so that's one. The second step is we're going to just heat this side of the wrap. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then with using my finger or my cuticle pusher, you work from cuticle to tip, but just that side, and you're just going to roll your finger across. Okay, so that's step 2. Then I'm going to go ahead and heat the other side, and I'm going to do the same thing, working from cuticle to tip, but just rolling across that side of my finger, okay? And you can see that it's beautifully applied. I don't have any ridges or bumps. I'm going to go ahead and apply a little bit more heat, and then using my purple pusher, I'm just going to go around and work around the sides. Okay, focusing a lot on the sides, so that I know I've got a really good seal. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to trim. Okay, we're not going to file because the wrap is too hot, so we wait until it's well and truly cool before we file, and then we're going to go ahead and do our next one. Sorry, I've just bumped the camera. So we lift the wrap off using our purple pusher. We sit it down. This actually goes on this finger. Sit it down on our finger. And we're just going to heat the front. I'm happy with where that is. Heat the front. And from cuticle to tip, just work that. And then I'm going to heat one side and roll. That's step 2. Heat the other side and roll. That's step 3. And then I'm going to heat again and just work my way around the wrap. Whoops, sorry, bumped it again. With my purple pusher. I'm really concentrating on the edges, okay? Make sure I've got a really good seal. And then I'm just going to trim off the excess. And I'm only doing that just to make it easier for me to work the rest of my fingers. Okay, so the next one, go and lift it off the sheet. If it'll come off. I'm going to go ahead and sit it down on our finger. I'm happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and heat the front and then just from cuticle to tip. I normally do that on the table but because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. And then we heat one side and from cuticle to tip but just rolling across that side, and then this way, cuticle to tip and just rolling across the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and give it one more heat, and with my purple pusher I'm going to go around concentrating on the sides and the edges. Make sure I've got a nice good seal. And remembering that you don't want any of your wrap to be touching your cuticles or your skin, okay? Embrace the gap. You can see I have a gap there, okay? It's not touching my skin at all. If you're touching your skin, your wrap is going to lift. Go smaller than you think you need. Eventually you'll get used to knowing what size wrap fits best for you. Some people, if you've got really small nails, you might need to trim your wraps down. I'm lucky I don't need to do that. I only do one cut with my wraps, and I'll show you that in a minute. Last one. Make sure we're in focus. Set it down. Because I know that the adhesive on the end there isn't anywhere near where I'm going to be placing on my nail. I'm just going to move that across a little bit. Okay, heat from the front. Don't overheat, it's just a couple of seconds in front of the mini heater. Okay, if you've got a hairdryer, it might even be less time than that because some hairdryers are pretty hot. I'm just going to roll and do the other side and roll. Then we're going to heat and go around the edges with our purple pusher. How gorgeous are these wraps? Oh my god, I'm so excited that we got style box wraps in Australia. Okay. Last but not least is my thumb. Now this is the one that I actually have to trim this because I have quite a square cuticle. So what I do is I actually trim off the very end of my wrap so that it's square on the end. That way it fits better on my thumb. I'm going to go and set it down. That is so not right. Nope. So this is the great thing about not heating. If you'd heated this and activated the adhesive, it'd be really hard to lift it back off. This way I know I'm going to get it right. Okay, so I'm happy, so I'm going to heat from the front and then just work the center and then heat one side and just work that side and then heat the other side and just work that side. And then I'm going to heat the front and I'm going to work my way right around the wrap, focusing on the edges. Like so. And then all I do is trim. Now I'm going to go ahead and do my other hand, and then we're going to file. So I know that this hand is now sufficiently cool, so I can go ahead and file. So the things to remember when you're filing your jams, I'm going to make sure that we're in focus here, is we're not going to be going up. No up and down motion, it's always just a down. Okay, and keeping yourself on this sort of angle. But you can see the edge of my jam has just come straight off. Okay. Never in an upward motion, always downward. And don't go crazy with your angle. You don't want to be doing it like this, because then you're going to take off the top and you're going to cause your jams to feather at the front, at your tips, okay? Okay, so now I go across my nails with my glass nail file, and I do go at a little bit more of an angle this time than I did with my rougher file, just to give me a little bit more of a smoother finish and to ensure that I don't lift my tips up when I'm reaching into the nappy bag for the 500th time for the day. You had a short nail and you were having difficulty filing, then you could go ahead and clip, and you just clip a little bit of your nail with the wrap, which I can demonstrate now. So I'm taking off a bit of my nail and the wrap, and that's giving me a nice edge. Like so. Okay. So you have the option to clip or file depending on your nail. I also find some of my customers who have got quite bendy nails have difficulty filing, because as soon as they go to push down on the file, they push down their nail as well, and they end up filing this part of the top of their nail and the wrap. So clipping might be an option for you if that's a problem. My nails don't really have a lot of flex in them at all, so it's not really a problem for me. But if it is a problem for you, then there are ways around it. You'd probably be better off clipping than filing. I file just because I like to keep my length. Look at that. And we're done. Hooray! And you can see there I don't have any. My edges are nice. There's no ridges or bumps or folds or anything. Looking very, very pretty. And that is how I apply my wraps. I hope that helps. Thanks, girls.